To my kitchen again. We seem to be spending a lot of time in here. So today I am destemming cherries, getting ready to get them and de-pit them, take the pits out. I don't know what to call that, de-pitting the cherries. I'm not really sure. But anyways, that's what I'm getting ready to do. So I'm just pulling off the stems, putting them in a bowl. I'm gonna add some sugar, probably gonna add some lemon juice, use some clear gel, gonna can some pie filling. So that is the reason why I bought all these cherries. I did can a few jars of like a ginger syrup cherries just to try something a little bit different. But the kids want cherry pie filling. So that's why I bought these from Missouri. And that's what I'm doing. I got 18 pounds. They were on sale. So I got 18 pounds. I don't know what I was thinking because destemming and taking the pits out of these is a pain in the butt. Although I do have a little contraption that takes the pits out, so I don't have to like cut them and pull them out or anything, but it's just time consuming, I guess. So I'm gonna do this part today, and then I probably will not actually get the canning done until tomorrow or even maybe tonight. We'll see how I feel whenever I get home, because I just found out this week that I actually have alpha-gal, so that's super exciting on top of everything else. So I am now gluten-free, dairy-free, red meat free. I don't eat tomatoes and I don't eat apples because apparently I have reactions to those as well. Super fun, especially this, time of year whenever I want to make salsa and all the good stuff. So I'm still good with cucumbers. So I'm eating lots of quick pickles and the cucumbers. If you didn't see that video, be sure to check that out because super easy recipe. I'm actually getting ready to make some more of those as well because I purchased some red onions today to make those. Really good with those red onions. But anyways, back to this. So getting these destemmed, getting the pits out, and then we'll work on the rest of it, getting them actually, like the pie filling actually made. So if you're ready to can some cherries, stick around because I'm going to show you how to do that in a little bit. It's the next day. I did get home last night and I went ahead and took the pits out of the cherries. Took forever, it seems like, and that little thing is not made to do that many. It was like kind of leaning, it was starting to bend, and so I was having to I got cherry juice everywhere. My hands, well, this one's not even the worst one, but my other hand is like stained, so just be aware of that. Dark cherries do stain your hands for a while and get all over your, it is coming off a little bit though as I wash my hands, today. So I just got in for milking, so I'm going to try to get these on here. So I'm going to weigh them. I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Got them in the fridge, put them in this pot, and I have another container I've got to get, but I'm weighing them and then putting them in here, and I'll add the sugar, and that's what we're doing this morning. So I'm actually combining 3 recipes. I have a couple or so different ball canning books. One of them is for sweet cherries, and I'm gonna follow that mainly. I have another one that is like a frozen cherry pie filling, which I don't really want to do that one. I was just trying to kind of see amounts of sugar and things like that. And then there is one online too, and it's similar to this one. It does use non-GMO cornstarch, but I have the clear gel, which is what Ball recommends, and I don't know, I might have just enough to use, but the one online does talk about using a candy thermometer, getting up to a certain temperature, probably so it will gel, and so I'm probably going to use that. And so I'm just going to kind of use a combination of these, and hopefully, well, you know what, let me just show you which ones I'm using. This is the book I have. I've had this for years, Ball's Complete Book of Home Preserving. I actually have a new one as well, but I do like these. These seem to me more traditional. The other ones are kind of new recipes and stuff, but I'm using this one, and it has down here for sweet black cherries. Obviously, that is what these are. So you're actually going to decrease the sugar and increase the lemon juice. And then this one over here was talking about, you could do it this way if you wanted to just freeze it in freezer safe jars. And but I don't want to do that because I want these on my shelf. Space around here right now is pretty hard to come by, so I don't want to put jars in the freezer, and I will probably forget about that they're in there. So we're gonna do this way. I'm gonna try the cinnamon, and then I will mark on here. I do that a lot on my recipes. I will mark if it's good or not when I made it, And that way I will know if I look this up again, be like, oh, yep, I made that last year, because, you know, I don't always remember that. So let's get started. We're going to go ahead and add some of this to the cherries, get them hot, and get them heating up, so then we can mix the rest of it up and put it in there. One of the things that these ball recipes did say is they're frozen cherries. So when you thaw frozen cherries, you're going to have juice, and that's what they're going off of. So I had to find one that kind of gave me an idea of what to do if I don't have frozen cherries. I have fresh cherries. So we're going to add couple cups, 2 cups of sugar to the cherries, let them sit for 15 or so minutes, and you know how that'll pull the juices out. So that way then we can start heating them up. But that will give me time to go ahead and get my jars down, go ahead and get my rings ready, get everything else ready, washed for the pie filling. So that's what we're gonna do. So let me get a measuring cup. All right, 2 cups into the pot we go. Okay, let's see, 2, yeah. All right, so the recipe online is for 14 pounds. I have 12 pounds in here, so we're gonna go, we're gonna kind of go with that. I don't wanna mash these, but I do wanna mix them up. I'm gonna show you these because they look so cool. It looks like, I don't know if you can tell, but from my point of view, they look like candied cherries with the sugar on them. It's pretty tasty to me. Okay, so I'm gonna set a timer so I don't forget. Okay, so because the recipe calls for 14 pounds of cherries, I have 12, 2 cups in there. The recipe's anywhere from 3 to 6 cups of sugar. She says 3 cups for the sweet ones, 6 cups if they're sour cherries. So I put 2 cups in here. So I think because they are sweet cherries, I have a little bit less cherries than what the recipe calls for. I'm gonna add a cup of sugar to my bowl. But she says to add the rest, so it depends on what you're using. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the cup. It may be too much, I don't know, we'll see. And then you're supposed to add your cornstarch is what she uses, but I am using clear gel like the other recipe calls. They actually call for a cup. I'm not really sure how much I'm actually gonna have in here. I may have just enough. It may be perfect because I don't actually have the 14, so almost a cup. So we're gonna put that in there, and note to get some more of that. And then we're gonna whisk this up because we don't want any lumps in here. So we just want this mixed up really good. No lumps, because then we're gonna add this after we get that boiling, get that to a certain temperature. We're gonna add this, bring it back to a boil. So got that going. All right, now this one recipe does call for cinnamon, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my cinnamon. Calls for half a teaspoon for 10 pounds, so we're gonna go with about a half a teaspoon. I don't normally measure spices. Sometimes, just depends. Okay, so we got that in there. And then we're gonna go with, let's see, 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Because they're sweet, we're supposed to use a 1/3 cup, so I am gonna get a 1/3 cup though. All right, got the measuring cup, set that aside. I buy this one, it's an organic lemon juice, and it just has lemon juice in it. That's it, so that's good. All right, a 1/3 cup, and I'm gonna go ahead and add this to the cherries. So that, because it's liquid, I can't really add it. Can't really add it to this mixture very well. So, okay, that's it. I think I have all the ingredients ready. So let's put everything back that needs to go back, and then get the jars and lids and everything like that ready. So one recipe says it does 4 quarts. The other recipe that has 14 pounds does 6 quarts. So I'm probably gonna go ahead and make sure I have 8 just in case. Maybe. You think of how many my steam canner holds, maybe 7. I'm gonna go ahead and do the max it will hold, because I never have the right amount. I never get the right amount of jars that the recipe says. Maybe it's me, I don't know. Found the jars, went ahead and got all regular mouth jars, moved this over, have my steam canner ready. Gonna heat this up just a little bit so I can clean the jars and then stick them in here, and they'll be hot. And I have my lids ready to be boiled, so everything seems to be good. and I have about 6 minutes, a little under 6 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure these are clean, get them good and cleaned and rinsed and everything, and get them in the canner so they'll heat up a little bit. The jars are washed. Cherries are ready. Timer went off, so I've got those on. So we're gonna get these boiling, and I'm gonna add the candy thermometer. So here I'm just getting the cherries to boil. I've got the cans heated up, or the jars, I guess I should say. And I'm just gonna take those out with the tongs and put those on my towel over there and just set those so that they are nice and warm, sterilized, and ready for the cherries. We had some TVs on in the background, people home, so had to do this video just a little bit different, but pretty excited to get these canned and get these ready for cherry pies this fall and winter. Doesn't that look yummy? I was so excited to get this jarred up and get this in the cans, and I ended up with 6 quarts, which is kind of funny. So I ended up with the right amount. So I'm getting those canned up. This way you can see a little bit better. It turned out gorgeous. It's a very dark cherry pie filling with no red 40. You know how you buy cherry pie filling, gotta watch that, because some of those do have that red 40 in it, which I'm not really sure why they need it, because this is super dark. So here I'm just gonna wipe off the rims with some just white vinegar. It kind of cleans them, sterilizes them, gets gunk off of there so that they seal better. I didn't always do this. I've always wiped the rims off, but I've not always used the vinegar. But I have started using vinegar just to kind of help out and make sure that those jars seal. You know, you go through all that work and you want them to seal. You don't want to have to put them in the refrigerator and eat them up right away. So that's what I am doing here. They were pretty dirty because of that cherry juice, that cherry pie filling. Yeah, I kind of made a mess with it if you didn't notice that. Now it's time for the lids. So we're going to get the lids on, getting them out of the boiling water, and going to get the rings ready to go on these and get them ready for the canner. Now, my son left a little surprise for you, I believe. Yeah, he told me to leave it. I'm not sure what he was going to do. I hadn't really looked at it until now. So that was our youngest. Yeah, he's a mess. So here's the rings. We're going to add the rings to it just to kind of finger tighten them. You don't want to over tighten them. You do want the jar to be able to do its job and kind of seal that ring down on its own. So getting those finger tightened, and then we're going to get them in the canner. So this is my steam canner. I love it. I hardly water bath can anything anymore because this takes a lot less water. It doesn't take as long to heat up. If you have a water bath canner, you know that it takes a while to heat all that water up, and it takes more water. This is just, and they're not super expensive, and I really like them. I really recommend one of these for sure. I did just see a Rural King though. Ball does have a water bath canner thing that you can sit on your counter. It's kind of interesting. Here we just want to make sure it's at the right temperature for our altitude, and when it is, well, we get our timer set because I will not remember it. So it is a few days later, and this is the cherry pie filling. I noticed after I started editing my video that I totally forgot to show it to you. I got busy and totally forgot. Sorry about that. So this is the cherry pie filling. You can barely see the cherries. This stuff is so dark. I don't know how they make cherry pie filling in the stores when you can see the cherries, but this looks yummy, and we cannot wait to try a cherry pie with these. Have not tried, so I did get 6 quarts like I mentioned, and they are right here. I've been making pickles. I've actually got some salsa on the stove, you know, the night before we're leaving for a trip tomorrow. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, when does canning end? I don't even know. I don't know if canning ever ends. I just got to fit it in whenever I can. So we're going to do some salsa because I have plenty of tomato juice. I actually have plenty of Italian pasta sauce that I made last year. I'll probably do some more juice, but I am going to do some salsa this year. So we're going to try some different recipes, try that out. But this is the cherry pie filling. Turned out beautifully and cannot wait to try it. When we try it, we will be sure to give you an update and let you know how it tastes. But these came from Missouri, like I told you, super easy. You could probably can almost any kind of fruit for pies that you want to like this. So I definitely got to get some more clear gel though, because I'm out now. So let me know if you can anything for pie filling, and let me know what it is in the comments and what you've tried and what you haven't, maybe what you like, all of the stuff. Share it below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to be lovely lights today.